Hey guys, welcome back to another Power Rangers Dino Charge episode review. Today we're reviewing episode 2 of Power Rangers Dino Charge, which is called Past, Present, and Fusion. Now, let me just talk about a little bit of how I'm viewing these episodes now. I don't have cable. I do have cable, actually. I have Comcast, but I don't have the Nick channel, Nickelodeon. So I can't really watch Power Rangers, and I haven't even watched Power Rangers before. Last time I watched Power Rangers on cable, on Nick, in my own home, was like back in like Megaforce, like episode 7 of Megaforce. No, actually episode 8 or 9 of Megaforce, either one of those. And that was like back in 2013. And then like in summer 2013, I moved to a different house. So in that house, I never got a cable, and literally I had to watch Power Rangers Megaforce by going on Hulu. And I continued to do that in Super Megaforce 2, and that's how I've been watching my episodes so far. Dino Charge. Sadly, Hulu did not get the rights to Dino Charge, so you can't watch Dino Charge episodes online. So it's either, the only way you can watch it now legally is on Nick.com. And I don't really like Nick because like they probably won't release the episode the day after. And if they do, it'll probably be buffering and all that. So yes, it really sucks. Now, in my part, I can just get cable and I can just get the Nick channel. I mean, I do have cable, of course, like I just said right now. But I can get the Nick channel, but like, that's making my parents, cost more money by, just watching a channel. And I'll probably only watch Nick just because of Power Rangers. I don't really like any of the other shows, and I'm not really a TV person. I'm more like an internet person. Mostly my hobbies consist of just, going on the internet and Power Rangers and stuff, like making reviews and stuff. So I really don't have time for me watching TV. If I do, it's probably because I have to watch a Power Ranger episode. But anyways, after that little origin story of how I watch Power Rangers, let's let me just say how I watched Power Rangers today. I watched episode 2 by, I was able to go to my friend's house and he let me watch the episode over there. Now I had to, at the same time, I had to watch the episode, and at the same time I had to write the notes so I can tell, what to say and what parts and everything. So it was kind of hard. And, the episode was good, and we finally get the whole thing completed and everything. So let's just start in the episode. We finally start getting those type of dialogue episodes, like the intro, like the summary of how the Rangers got united. Like an evil monster came to Earth and then tried to destroy the Rangers, and now the Rangers must be formed in their Power Rangers Dino Charge. That dramatic opening scene where, like, it explains, like, the summary of how the Rangers got united. But I don't really understand how they make that summary right now because, like, Power Rangers Dino Charge, like, the team hasn't been completed in episode 1 yet, so they already made it. It's been going on this whole intro scene since Samurai. Samurai had a intro scene where, like, in Agent Japan, 5 samurais, and then Megaforce, like, a War Star Armada, like, all that type of stuff. Like, I don't really think it's necessary. I mean, back in the old days, Power Rangers, they never really had any of those, and, like, if you just want to know how the Rangers got united, just watch the first episode instead of getting this stupid dialogue scene. And, instead of wasting on those dialogue scenes, like the intro and everything, let's just get more like storylines. Like, instead of that, let's get like more screen time with the Rangers, and that's it. We can have more time to watch Power Rangers. Yeah. The episode starts off with a man riding a horse, and it's some kind of like New Zealand kind of forest kind of thing. We see Riley. We meet Riley. He's training with a sword, and he's at, we already see that he likes swords and everything. He's training with all those old-fashioned swords. The man opens the bar, and it turns out that the man that opened the bar is actually Riley's brother. His name is Matt, and in the casting sheets, fun fact, in the casting sheets, the guy that plays Riley's brother is actually going to be the Graphite Ranger. So, Graphite means, like, he'll probably become a Ranger later. He might probably find the Graphite Energem later in, like, the episodes. No one knows yet. The actor's name is Alexander Walker, so we don't really know much about him, but that he'll probably become, because they said in the casting sheets that the Green Ranger's brother was gonna be Graphite, and he was gonna be a Ranger too. So Matt asked Riley. He asked Riley to, like, help him feed the pigs because it's kind of a farm thing. Apparently Riley and his brother, like, and his family, like, they work on a farm. Riley shaves his dog, and then after, like, we meet his dog, Rubik, who he's apparently, quiet and stuff, and then Riley sees that he's not around, so he's like, Rubik, where are you? And then he chases Rubik, and Rubik goes into the forest. Now, we see Rubik barking at something, well, we don't see what it really is. And then Riley is like staring at Rubik, and all of a sudden Fury's there. So yes, we see Fury. And apparently he's walking around the forest and everything. Now Fury's about to hit the dog with the sword, like he's about to get mad at him because he was barking too much. And then Riley gets a pole out of nowhere and just goes and gets Fury and blocks Fury from hitting Rubik before Fury has a chance. Riley, he seems good at sword fighting because, you know, like, I guess he likes swords and everything. And we just met him training and everything. Riley is defeated, of course, because he was using a pole. And he's fighting a monster with this big-ass sword with electricity and everything. So the pole, it hits like some kind of rock, and the rock breaks, and then we turns out to see like some kind of dinosaur fossil, and in that dinosaur fossil is the green energon. So Riley goes to get the pole so he can stick it out and fight Fury again, and Fury sees that it's an energon. While Riley's pulling out the sword, it starts to turn into a Dino Charge saber, and Riley pulls it out, and he's like, "Oh my god, you know, this is so cool." And then we learn that Riley doesn't play around. Fury's like, "Stop playing around." He's like, "I don't play around." And then he's like this. That's such a badass scene. It's so badass. And he begins to fight Fury, and then he blocks some of Fury's hits when Fury starts shooting. And Riley, you know, he wins the fight, and he gets some slashes at Fury, and he doesn't kill Fury, but he does hurt Fury. He gets the green energy gem, and he runs away with Rubik, and yeah. And then he runs away to the farm, leaving the dinosaur, which I don't understand how it's going to be there. It probably gets teleported, or it probably just disappears and then goes into some kind of portal where they keep all the Power Rangers keep all their weapons when they want to summon it. So it turns out that Riley is now going to a dinosaur museum, I guess probably because he wants to know more about this green energy he found. And then leaving Matt says he says goodbye to Matt and then his mom, and yeah. So we cut back to Tyler and Shelby, and Tyler's driving the Jeep. And then we see that Riley, who was riding his motorbike to the museum, apparently like broke down. So he's trying to like, you know, check the manual to see how he can fix it. And then Tyler and Shelby stop and say, "Hey, you need some help?" And he's like, "Nah, I'm fine. I'm reading this manual. Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out." And then a truck passes by, and then the manual, like the papers fly away because of the air. And then Riley's like, "Oh, god damn it, guys. God damn it." He didn't say that, but I mean, like, he's like, "Oh, fuck." So, like, now that the manual flew away, he doesn't know how to, like, what is he gonna do? So, yeah. And then we cut to a scene where, like, Riley's in the back, and then Tyler is driving, and Shelby is driving. That's just hilarious. I started laughing my ass off. Like, the comedy in the season is just so good. You know, like, I just love those type of scenes in TV shows where, like, the characters, like, he says, like, "No, I'm fine," you know, and something bad happens to him. So then, like, we cut to another scene, and then the character's like this, like, and then the other characters like looking at him like, that's it. That was hilarious. So Tyler and Shelby talk about how, like, you know, it would be fun to be on a farm, but Riley says it's not really that fun because you have to do all that work and everything. And then all of a sudden, you know, yeah, sorry, I have to pause because like I have the notes in front of me, so I have to read them. But like, you know, yeah. So they pass by a site, like some kind of forest. And then they see that there's a man stuck on their car, and a woman's like saying, "Yeah, help! I need help!" And so they stop, and then they help the guy. And then there's like a car on top of some man, and I guess something happened. I don't know. So the guy's under the car, and like his feet are like being pushed by like the car because there's like a car on top of him. So the Rangers try to push the car away, but they can't because, you know, it's a freaking car, guys. Come on, you can't push that away. So they can't do anything. And then Riley finds out that there's like gas leaking. So what are they gonna do? Tyler talks about, you know, teamwork. You have to do it together. So they push it, and their energy start to glow. And then they push the car, and it goes in the air and explodes. And then the guy that was being pushed by the car, apparently the guy was okay. His feet, he was able to just stand up. It's a miracle. So the Rangers, they get their energy gems and they start glowing. They notice that it's glowing, and Tyler notices that Riley's actually going to the museum too. Because like, "You're going to the museum too?" And then he's like, "Yeah." So they go to the loading dock of the museum, and then we see Koda and Chase, and Koda's like, "I'm hungry," and then Chase is like, "You're always hungry." And the comedy, man, it's just the comedy. Like, it's not funny, like, it's not gonna make me laugh out loud, but it's just like, you know, like, it makes me smile, you know, because it's actually good comedy. Like, they don't push it at you, but you know, you like smile at it at least. It's not, you know, it's just kid. probably like a smart person would laugh at it, but you know, I'm just like, you know, because when I make jokes, you know, I usually laugh at stupid jokes. You know, I'm a kid, so, and I make some dirty ass jokes, and you know, I laugh at those kind of jokes. But you know, the jokes in this TV show are more clean, but they're still funny, and I like that. So they get to the loading dock, and then like Shelby sees Coda and Chase walking, but like she's like, they all say when they get out the Jeep, they don't see Coda and Chase anymore. And they're like, what the hell is going on? So yeah, and then Tyler notices this huge dinosaur head, like Tyrannosaurus Rex. So Tyler gets on top of like in the mouth, and he's like, hey, take a picture of me. So he throws the phone at Shelby. And I think Tyler's like a selfie maniac or something. He's always trying to take selfies, man. Like in the first episode, it was selfie with the Tyrannosaurus Rex, and now it's this selfie with this thing. But apparently, since he loves selfies so much, he touched the tooth of one of Tyrannosaurus Rex's mouth, and like the hole just opened in the mouth, and he just suddenly went down into something. So Riley says, "Oh my god, that's so cool!" So he follows after him, and then Shelby is scared, but she still goes after them. And it turns out to be some secret base. And then they walk around, and then they see that there's like this display, and there's like a black energem and a blue energem, and then Riley, Tyler, and Shelby, they put their energems there, and it starts to glow. Riley notices some kind of power source, because there's like Dino Chargers on the bottom, like there's like 3 of each. And then all of a sudden, Keeper comes out of nowhere. So it turns out that Keeper's still alive. He survived the whole dust storm from episode 1, 300, almost millions of years ago. But he survived. I guess he's some kind of alien that, you know, he'll always live. And he introduces like the whole, you know, like who he is, what happened, and you know why he's here on Earth, and you know, he introduces like he says what happens millions of years ago, that asteroids hit because of Sledge and everything. So yeah, and then he tells that the energems bonded with them, and then they question like what's bonding, like how did it bond. But also like Shelby notices that Coda, Chase, and Miss Kendall Morgan, they walk in the base, and then Kendall tells Tyler he fought to defend the stranger and put great risk. Like Kendall starts telling the Riley, Shelby, and Tyler like why the energems bonded with them, and then she tells like Kendall tells Riley also because of display intelligence he was chosen, and then Kendall becomes a bitch as always, and then tells Shelby the Triceratops shows her it's, you know, the Triceratops shows you it's anyone's guess. Like, you know, I don't even think it was okay for the Triceratops to choose you. So we're gonna see like Shelby and Kendall don't get along that much, and you know, I hope that Kendall becomes much less of a bitch when she becomes a ranger. Because, you know, like, I don't even know why she's, like, some kind of... She's nice to the other Rangers, but to Shelby, she's, like, this huge jerk to her. Like, a bitch. So I hope that gets fixed and they become best friends by the end of the series. I don't know. And then Kendall explains the 5 energems they found. There are 5 more missing, so there's 5. There were 5. The main 5 were already found, but there's 5 more. So they're not really hiding that we're going to get more Rangers later in the series. And then, yeah... And Tyler and Riley, they're in the team because, you know, they told to about like how the things bonded to them. So yeah, they're totally in the whole Power Ranger thing. However, Shelby's not in it because, you know, like she's like Kendall just pushed her down, like, oh my god, like I don't even know why you were chosen. So Shelby's a little sad. But then the Keeper explains that she knows, you know, Keeper tells Shelby she fought to save the world in episode 1. You know how she saved, how she fought that Ice Age monster. So yeah. Shelby says that she knows about dinosaurs, and, you know, she's in the team. She doesn't care. They all leave, but Tyler can't go because apparently his energem is not working. It keeps flashing. Kendall says something is interfering with the energem, and it turns out that the T-Rex sword is like coming out of some kind of volcano. Kendall explains when someone bonds to an energem, their sword is awakened. And the Tyrannosaurus is using the powers, but the red energems begins to work again, luckily. And yeah, Kendall tells him to go to the city because Ice Age, the monster from episode 1, is attacking the city again. Tyler goes, and then she tells the other Rangers to meet up with him at the city. Ice Age is there, and he begins to attack the city. The Tyrannosaurus sword goes to the city to fight these big Vivizords. It's like, you know, the Vivics, and like when they mix, like when they stick to each other, they just turn into these big Tyrannosaurus Rex type of disgusting kind of slobs thing. Uh, then Ice Age sees that the Tyrannosaurus Rex is fighting the Vivizords, so Ice Age freezes the Tyrannosaurus Rex to stop it from fighting them. But luckily Tyler comes in time and he stops and he throws a Dino Charger at the Tyrannosaurus Rex mouth, and then it unleashes the power. So the Tyrannosaurus Rex he unfreezes and he starts to fight the Vivizords again. So Tyler arrives, and then he morphs because he feels Dino charged. So he morphs, and I really like the morphing scene in this season. The way the morpher like calls out like the Tyrannosaurus Rex, like it doesn't sound like the one in the morpher, but it sounds like more like the one in the morpher sounds more deeper. But the way they spin like they do like this with the morpher, and like they like and then they hold it. That's really cool. Overall, it's a good morph. It's actually better than Kyuraiger's, in my opinion, because I don't really like the whole dancing kind of thing in Kyuraiger. That's just I understand it's the whole samba theme and with dinosaurs, but I don't think it's really cool that they're dancing. And I think it'd be kind of weird seeing the monster waiting there like, why are you guys dancing? Just morph already. So it's really cool that they just go like this, hold the morpher, and then and then unleash the power and everything. So Tyler morphs, and he starts to fight the Vivix and then the Ice Age. And then the other Rangers arrive, seeing Tyler in his costume, and then they say how cool, and then Ice Age plans to destroy them because he thinks he's all that. And then Shelby tries to morph, but Coda tells her to click the thing because she's like, Dino Charge is ready, and then she doesn't click it, so she's just like holding it there, like, what the hell's going on? And Coda tells her. And then, yeah. I was about to start talking about Coda, but then I'm like, I'll leave that for later. Alright, just leave that for later. You can't just start talking about a character right now. So the others morph, the whole 4 kind of square thing and TV screens happens. They begin to fight the Vivix, of course, all 5, and like, they get ready and stuff, and then they pose. They don't really, there's not really a roll call, but they just kind of like just stand there and like get ready, like they're getting pumped up. Chase calls himself a hotshot, which is a reference to his Sentai counterpart Ian, who said that in his roll call. The hotshot hero, Kyoryu Black. He would say that. The editing got better actually when you would see the Dino Chargers from the back. Originally it would say Gabachira. If you would see Kyoryu, the episodes, every time the Rangers sometimes they would stick the morpher inside, like the little Chargers inside the morpher, it would say Gabachira or Paris Sagan. But it was in the American version, which now was changed to Parasaurolophus or Tyrannosaurus. And I really like that they're really focusing on little details, just to make the show good. Because if you guys remember in Power Rangers Megaforce, when the cards would be shown, it would say Gosei Red or Gosei Blue, and that was Goseiger. So that would cause some questioning, and that really annoyed me because I remember back in 1998 when Power Rangers in Space was airing. I wasn't around at the time. I wasn't even alive at that time, but I've seen the episode, the season, and in Mega Ranger, when the Mega Rangers morph, it would say Mega Ranger ready, but in Power Rangers in Space, it would say Power Rangers, Rangers ready, or I don't remember what it would say, but it would say something different in English. Or when the Red Ranger morphing in space, in the Japanese version, it would say Mega Red, and then in the American version, it would say Space Red, I think in Space Red. It would say something Red Space Ranger. I don't know. But I remember that in Space, they would change the text, so it wouldn't say Mega Ranger ready. But in Megaforce, Jonathan Tsager, the guy that was directing it, was so fucking lazy that he just let the card say Go Say Red, and that really annoyed the crap out of me. So I'm really happy, overall, he just all these 4 years of Power Rangers have been hell for me because of him, he destroyed Samurai and Megaforce and Super Megaforce. So yeah, off that little chat that I had about rant I had about him, to get back to Power Rangers Dino Charge review. So yeah, it got better. I really like the editing, and then Tyler fights Ice Age and defeats him. Tyrannosaurus Rex, he destroys all of his swords, and then Tyrannosaurus Rex, Tyler hides inside Tyrannosaurus Rex's mouth, and then uses a final strike, and he flings at Ice Age and beats him and destroys him. He's obliterated. Riley says, and then the episode doesn't end, of course, but we switch back to the Rangers going back in the command center or the secret base. And then Riley's talking about how he's going to tell his brother all about this. And then Kendall turns around and says, you can't tell anybody about this. You know, keep this a secret. You can't tell anybody that we're doing this. And then, yeah, so he says, yeah, no problem. We'll keep it a secret. Everybody keeps it a secret. So Chase goes to Keeper and asks him that the monster they saw, it wasn't Sledge. So Keeper begins to talk that there were other monsters, and Sledge is a bounty hunter, and that he keeps other monsters too. So yeah, and then you know we leave there and worried, and then once we switch back to Sledge, and then he's in his ship, and I guess Sledge is back on Earth. I think he's gonna attack Earth in the next episode, but we see Sledge, and then he starts to say which diabolical monster can destroy the Power Rangers, and then the episode ends. So this was just another great solid episode of Power Rangers Dino Charge. There wasn't really, I didn't really like some of the quirky things that I kind of annoyed me was like, why would Riley just leave the saber right there instead of taking it with him? How the guy was able to, walk still after having a car on top of him. And, that was kind of stuff that annoyed me. Just like episode 1 where, like, the Earth was, like, already the way it was, like, right now how it is in the present. I mean, if asteroids hit the Earth millions of years ago, it would be different because, you guys remember how the Earth, like, the different parts of the Earth were stuck together like millions of years ago before the asteroids hit, and then they separated when the asteroids hit. But apparently, in Power Rangers bases, it was already like that when the dinosaurs were around. So yeah, that's something that made me question. Well, like, it's little things that make me kind of like, what? Like, how is that possible? So yeah, but still, it was a great episode. Like, if you get over those little logic things, like how. Then it was a great episode overall. I really like how the team is finally together. Originally, I thought that the team would get together like around episode 3 because they talked more about Riley in this episode in like the summary instead of Chase and Coda. But it was really nice that Chase and Coda were already Rangers. Something I do hope that happens in like a few episodes later is like, what if Chase and Coda were the very first Rangers to be united? So maybe Chase can be like, hey, like I was the first Ranger to be taken. Like, why shouldn't I be the leader? Those kind of episodes, like back in Wild Force when Taylor was the original leader before Cole came in. She was all like, why is he leader? Like, I've been leading the team the whole time. Like, that kind of episode. Maybe that doesn't happen, I don't know, because I've read this bios for the summaries for the next few episodes, and I didn't really have any of those, but maybe. No one knows. It was a good episode, so I gave it a 4 out of 5. The team unites, Riley comes in, he gets introduced, and I really like how he gets introduced and everything. He's a sword fighter. He practices sword, not a sword fighter. What is that? Like a person that fights swords. I don't know what I'm saying. But it was a good episode overall. One thing I do wish happened was a roll call. Why didn't they like Power Ranger Red, like Dino Charge Red, Dino Charge Black, Dino Charge Blue? Like, why didn't it happen? Instead of just the Rangers, they were just getting like pumped up like this. Like, they were like, what the Curie just doing? Like, they're about to start a fight. They just go like, let's get ready. That kind of stuff. Like, they do with their hands. They didn't. They did that, but they didn't do a roll call. So why not? And I hope it isn't like Super Mega Force where they never really had any roll calls. If you guys remember Super Mega Force, they didn't have a lot of roll calls with the Gokaiger suits, and I hope that doesn't happen in Dino Charge because that'll be a huge step down. But yeah, so that's it. That was all the episode. Overall, it really does make me want to watch the next episode on like Super Mega Force. Where after an episode, I was like, oh god, like I don't really care what happens next. But in this one, I really want to know what happens next. What is Sledge gonna do? How the Rangers gonna react to Sledge coming back, to the Earth after years later, after millions of years after the dinosaurs destroyed. Like, what are the Rangers gonna do? They're gonna be scared. They're gonna be like, like we have to do this, we have to fight. I want to know. So yeah. So we also finally get to know more about Chase and Coda. I still, even though they were introduced more in this episode, I still don't understand a lot about him. Like, I don't know a lot about Chase yet. I don't know what type of person he is. Like, I mean, he's a flirt and everything. He's cool. He's a cool guy. And then Coda's the caveman. But we got to know they got at least more lines now. But Chase, he's kind of like I really like his voice. I really like how he speaks. It's awesome. The New Zealand voice is just amazing. And then Coda speaks in like cavemanish, so he speaks like Yoda. And then like welcome to team. Like it's I mean, maybe they should have just told us, you know, like, yeah, he was a caveman, but then he learned how to speak in the present day. He now know how to speak like a person, but I guess he has a small brain. I guess like how they say in caveman, how it has small brain. So I guess that's how Koda speaks. Now, I just hope that they don't make Koda speak like a caveman in interviews. But I think like we've seen Power Rangers Dino in the Power Rangers YouTube channel. We've seen the Rangers like speak in like these little clips about like like, hey, happy Valentine's Day from the Power Rangers Dino Charge team. And then we see Koda, he speaks normal, so I guess he won't probably do that. That'd be a little funny though. It's the band brands made him like speaking in caveman every time he was interviewed and stuff, but I don't really think that's gonna happen. So yeah. So that was my review of Power Rangers Dino Charge Episode 2, Past, Present, and Fusion. Stay tuned for next week, which Episode 3, which is a Fool's Hour, when Sledge comes back on Earth to confront Keeper and the Power Rangers. I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and this is Roberto Morales from Major Mania, signing out.